know that. Now, we talked about how does embalmers treat people with diseases? I know a lot of people are curious out there. Do we treat a person with a disease any different than we treat anyone else?
No, sir, Mr. Beckwith. We treat individuals who have passed away with diseases the same as we would treat any other case. Of course, we do wear protective gear. We have universal precautions that we use on everyone.
On everyone?
Regardless.
How do we know?
Because we don't know.
We don't know. Some we do know because they told us.
Yes, sir.
But a lot of them we just don't know, do we?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. Most definitely. And so we treat everyone the same. We use respirator mask. We use, of course, gloves. We have smocks. We have protective shoe covers that we wear. We have a disposable apron now that we use.
Right.
We have
head covers.
We have head covers.
We're pretty much
have it all.
Head to toe.
We have it all.
Right.
Because they're to, and again, these, you know, sometimes we do come across cases unknown to us that have passed away with all kinds of bacteria, diseases, and pathogens.
We just don't know.
And we don't know.
Right.
We don't always know. So everyone receives the same treatment. We treat everyone the same.
Have you ever heard of a funeral home turning somebody down?
No.
And I mean, I know there's many different places that would turn you down. If I walk into certain businesses, they wouldn't even let me come in. But a funeral home, if someone passed away, you call Golden Gate Funeral Home, all you have to say is they have passed and we en route.
That's right. We're on the way.
We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back with the Art of Embalming.
We're stepping up the level of our service. Our goal is to treat your loved ones with the respect they deserve. We're taking our service to new heights. We're stepping in a new direction. We'll step into the new millennium with Golden Gate Funeral Home, where service begins and never ends.
Hello, and welcome back to Ask the Undertaker. Today we're discussing the art of embalming, coming from Genesis, the 50th chapter, the 2nd and the 3rd verse, as well as the 26th verse. We're going to ask Pastor Bott if he would read those for us.
And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Israel. And 40 days were fulfilled for him, for so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. And the Egyptians mourned for him 60 in 10 days. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt.
Isn't that something? So it talked about 40 years. I mean, I'm sorry, it talked about 40 days there. Talked about 30 and 10. I think I heard you say that. 40 days is a long time for someone to be out for viewing. So how long does this embalming procedure last, Chief Embalmer?
Well, the embalming procedure lasts as long as the family requests us to have the remains presented to them and to the general public. It's an indefinite procedure.
So it's something we will continue to do.
We can continue to do it, Mr. Beckwith.
It's not a one-time thing.
No, sir. No, sir.
So if I need to re-embalm something, re-embalm a loved one tomorrow, I can do that.
Certainly, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
And I think about
every day.
I think about some of the great stars that was out for a long, like James Brown was out for a long period of time.
Right.
And how the embalmer had to just keep going back and preserving and doing that presentation as well as that sanitation to make sure that everything. Is this something we can pre-need, Queen of pre-need?
Absolutely, Mr. Beckwith. In fact, it's most common that when you do a pre-need, embalming is already included in the package.
So most of our packs, about 90% of Golden Gate packs, unless it's a cremation
Unless
package.
it's a direct cremation.
Okay.
Even the cremation with the service, embalming is included.
It's already included in those packages. Okay, and if I had to individually buy it, Carolyn, what would it cost me? If I just say, I don't want you to do nothing, John, but just embalming.
It's only $375 at Golden Gate Funeral.
And then I can pre-need that now, just in case y'all try to go up on me.
That you can. You can lock in that price today.
I can lock it. I can freeze embalming right now for $375.
Yes, sir.
And I tell y'all, you know, we talk about the presentation, we talk about how sharp we are and how long it takes us to get ready. And I tell y'all, more money I have, the more I want to spend. Amen. I can tell you the clothes I wear today is not the clothes I wore 20 years ago.
Right.
The sheets I sleep on now, those 1,000-count sheets, is not what I slept on 20 years ago.
Right.
So as God has blessed us financially, I think we spend more and we want to have better things. Now, what do y'all think the best way to make sure that my family is financially stable when I pass away, King of Pre-Need?
I would say get some life insurance.
Life insurance.
Life insurance.
Okay.
Definitely. Get you some life insurance.
So if I get some life insurance, you tell me I can make my family millionaires?
Definitely. Most
Now, how do I do that, Pastor Bud? How do I make my family a millionaire?
Well, first, when you get that policy, that $1 million policy,
Okay.
make sure you don't have no minor children on there as beneficiaries.
Okay, all right.
And make sure someone who's of legal age, who's going to be responsible and trustworthy to handle the financial aspects or the financial division among those on that policy. And make sure if that policy is going to be used for your funeral, make sure it's used for that purpose.
Okay.
And then what's left goes to whoever's supposed to get it.
So, and I know a lot of times we grew up, Carolyn, Mom didn't leave the younger children with the money.
No, because she knew that you couldn't handle that type of
Exactly.
money. Exactly. No, really.
And that makes a difference, doesn't it? You have to be careful who you leave a lot of money with.
too.
That's right.
So
You
that
got to
they
be
can be
careful
taking
with
care of
that.
the rest of their life.
Exactly.
If you give them that money, and like you said, you're young, you're reckless, and it's a growing process for all of us.
Exactly.
So that's why you would leave a responsible person so that they can have what you left for them, but they'll be able to enjoy for a long time.
Okay. And the last thing I want to ever do is use some of my $1 million on a funeral. So, Queen of Pre-Need, how do I avoid using my $1 million on a funeral?
You get a pre-need.
Buy a pre-need.
Lock
Okay.
in today's cost.
Okay.
And even if you're in the worst of health, as long as you live for at least 2 years and 1 day, the whole thing is going to be paid in full.
Okay.
And that life insurance policy that you have can be left as an inheritance for your children and grandchildren. Or your spouse,
So
if
I-
your spouse is still living.
So I can get that $1 million and just
You
have a
get the
good old
whole
time.
$1 million.
Uh-oh, watch out. I'm saying $1 million because we can have some that's
Yeah.
10, 12, $20 million.
100,000, whatever.
There's many different amounts. Just depending on the amount you want to leave for your family.
That's right.
Now, how am I make sure, Carol, that my wishes are done? Because if I leave a $1 million policy, y'all better put me away right.
Well, first of all, you're going to have that pre-need, and all of that information is going to be there, so we know exactly what you want.
Exactly.
And
All
you're going
right.
to leave that responsible person in charge of it.
Okay.
So we ask that all of our families understand it's important to write it down.
Okay.
No one can read your mind, and you can say it and they're going to forget it. So write it down, have it witnessed, and have it notarized. And it's a good idea to have it witnessed by the person that has no part in anything that you're leaving.
Amen to
So
that.
that the other people you're leaving it to, they won't feel like you left everything to that one person and they were there when you signed it.
Okay.
And then put it in a place where it can be accessed easily, and again by that responsible person. But
right.
just write it down.
So we're going to make sure we have plenty of insurance left for our inheritance, and we're going to make sure the beneficiary is somebody that's of age, that's legal, not an ex-spouse or
That's
ex.
right. Amen.
All right?
Amen.
Because in the
Amen.
state of Texas, they can't get the money anywhere if they're ex-spouses. So we're going to make sure those beneficiaries, and then make sure those beneficiaries are not deceased.
That's right.
That is very important. We see that quite often.
Yes, we do.
And another thing we want to remind the public is with these job insurances, we want to make sure those job insurances will assign that amount of money over to the funeral home
Right.
to be used toward your funeral. Now, if we get into a situation, Carolyn, where they refuse to assign it, we can leave a funeral home as beneficiary. Is
Yes,
that
we
correct?
can.
We can take
And
a
you do
small
portions.
percentage
There you go.
and say, listen, I want to leave $20,000 and just make that funeral home beneficiary.
Right.
So my family don't have to come out of their pocket
To pay for it.
and they can use that money toward what we intended it to be.
What would be even better, though, Mr. Beckwith, is if you have the insurance on your job,
Okay.
is to have an additional policy aside for your family. Or
Exactly.
for your burial. Because there's no guarantee that that job is going to last forever. Because
What if you lose that job?
I know. I had like $100,000 worth of life insurance with the company I was with. And when I got laid off, I lost the life insurance.
And the life insurance went with the job.
Right. So if I would have had another policy, it would have been fine.
And it's interesting, a lot of people think, well, the insurance came with the job, but that's usually not the case. Most of the time, the jobs take that money out of your
Out of your check.
out of your check anyway. So you can have that money taken out and put in a policy that you own,
That's it.
not the company that you work for, King of
And
Pre-Need.
most likely it's term insurance too, where you build up no cash value on the job.
Okay.
Which versus if you get it outside the job, you're going to build up a little equity in your policy.
So if I call the King of Pre-Need, if I
Get
call
all
the
that information.
Queen of Pre-Need, I can get all that taken care of. By the-
Amen.
And
Amen.
then most important, we want, like I said, we want to make sure those wishes are in writing.
In writing.
And I tell y'all, a lot of people don't know this, but the deceased person wishes trump everybody else. If I write down what I want, get it notarized, get it witnessed, it doesn't matter what my family want to do.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, I know we have people in our family we really love, but some of them we can't trust.
Amen.
Understand that. You got to understand that.
So what we have to do is put our wishes in writing to make sure what we want done is done. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't want to get too far. I want to dispel a few rumors about this embalming, y'all. Do I have to be embalmed in order to have a public viewing? Carla, what do you think about that?
No, you do not. There is no law in the state of Texas that requires a deceased person to be embalmed. That's a choice for the family. And again, as we've stated earlier, we want to give that lasting presentation to our families. So we explain what embalming will do and will help for your loved one. Okay. But no, sir, it is not required.
And everybody, I know you've been around film business all your life. A lot of times people are concerned about if they embalm my loved one, they're going to turn them all hard. Is all deceased people hard?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No, they're not. They're not hard. Some feel just as if they was alive, and some do firm up a little bit more than others, but they're really not normally hard.
Okay. No, and then I tell people that all the time. I say, you know, everybody's going to react differently to chemicals in your body. If I take a pill and you take a pill, we both may not respond identical to it. So sometimes it's the medicines that's in our bodies. There's many different things that'll cause us to change after death. But we can't just look at one person and judge everybody from that one thing. And then very important, we want to be sure and let people know to watch us every Saturday right here on Ask the Undertaker at channel 34.1 at 7 o'clock p.m. and listen to us every Saturday morning on Heaven 97, that's 970 a.m. on your dial at 10 o'clock a.m. every Saturday. We have a great time together, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All right, thank you, Mr. Henson, been a part, our chief embalmer.
Thank you, Mr. Bickworth.
All right, been embalming since 1986.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's a long time.
Yes, it
We're
is.
glad to have you. We have our Queen
Glad
of
to be
Preview.
here. Thank you.
May God bless you. May God keep you is our prayer.
We're stepping up the level of our service. Our goal is to treat your loved ones with the respect they deserve. We're taking our service to new heights. We're stepping in a new direction. We'll step into the new millennium with Golden Gate Funeral Home, where service begins